Allora, oggi siamo qui in un video che sicuramente molti di voi non sono appassionati di Formula 1, io lo sono, e siccome a chi non segue questo sport, perché è uno sport, volevo farvi vedere una cosa brutta, credete è una cosa brutta, non voglio spoilerarvi quello che succederà, ma sarà una cosa che in tanti anni non mi è mai successo in Formula 1. E il pilota è vivo, vi dico solo questo. E quindi non prendete paura, per favore, che è una cosa registrata già da mesi. E se qualcuno l'ha visto dal vivo come me, sa come ci si sente. Perché in quel momento mi sono sentito molto molto male e mi è dispiaciuto tanto. Quindi, insomma, andiamo. No. Fade della vita, volume al massimo. Va bene. Togliamo un po', non tantissimo. Dai.
Sound and away we go. Hamilton then gets away well. Verstappen off the line well.
Questa è una cosa che ho visto io dal vivo e non è una bella cosa, ecco. Però
and he's already wheel to wheel with Valtteri Bottas, and there is Alex Albon on the inside of Bottas as well, and Perez coming up on the inside of Verstappen, who is now in second.
Sapete il team che mi piace più è quello rosa.
Place. Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez, then Albon and Ricciardo. Bottas has lost 4 places already as they file their way through, and Lance Stroll going off the track already, and that is that damage for Lando Norris. That's certainly damage, and a big fire there as they exited out of turn 3, and that looks very nasty indeed, and unsurprisingly, that is a red flag that has been put out by race control already. That was horrendous as the car went into the barrier. Just at the bottom of your screen, Lance Stroll goes wide. Now this is after turn 3.
Lì in basso a destra.
Grosjean, one car out there, and then Grosjean to the right-hand side.
Oh my God, it's torn the car in half.
Yeah.
No wonder the fuel came out of it.
Yeah.
I said the fuel was in the middle of the car, and it's literally
Whoa.
in half. No wonder the fuel came out of it.
Yeah.
I said the fuel was in the middle of the car, and it's literally
and side. Going
my God, it's
that
torn the car in half. No wonder the fuel came out of it.
Yeah.
I said the fuel was in the middle of the car, and it's literally. That's extraordinary.
The car
has gone through the barrier, you see. The car's gone through the barrier, and that's then been sort of used as a wrench, as it were, to literally rip the car in half.
And there we can see
Roman's getting himself. Yeah, he was in the flames for a long time, wasn't he? Getting himself out.
Jumping as fast as he can over the barrier. There were 3 people on the other side of the barrier who have all had a bit of a lucky escape, I think, there.
That's a miracle.
I have not seen a car like that in my time commentating on Formula 1. I've never seen a Formula 1 car do that. And that's brilliant. A round of applause as these images are being shown in the pit lane. Lights out. And away we go. And for the second time, Hamilton gets away well. And for the second time, the guy in third has made a very good start. This time it's Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen on the inside. Has Perez for company as Verstappen slips past the racing point. Valtteri Bottas will now put Perez under pressure. Alex Albon ahead of Lando Norris, who started well. Daniel Ricciardo has dropped back just a little bit. He's lost quite a few places, actually. As now on the inside, Valtteri Bottas has a look at Sergio Perez, thinks better of it. Albon now round the outside of the Mercedes as Hamilton leads them down the hill. Ahead of Max Verstappen, then comes Perez, and Bottas gets past Alex Albon. Behind Alex Albon comes Lando Norris, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly's just been overtaken by Charles Leclerc. Daniel Ricciardo is 10th.
Yeah, it didn't work out well for Ricciardo. Albon fancied a run around the outside of the Mercedes. Bottas was having none of it, but we have got an incident at the back there in turn 8.
We've got a spinner, and Lance Stroll, I think, is involved, and now we've got a safety car.
So Lance was
behind
a little bit under pressure there from side, turned in,
and then crunch. Well, Dr. Ian Roberts, what a busy man he has been in the opening stages of this Bahrain Grand Prix on hands, and the fire extinguishers just keeping those parts that are overheating a little bit cooler. Valtteri Bottas has got a puncture.
Yeah, they've just been on the radio and they've told Lewis Bottas is coming in. He's got a puncture. They've told him to stay as close. Obviously, the car's in front, but I don't know where he's picked that up.
Lewis Hamilton then leads them over the line to start lap 9. Max Verstappen looking in his mirrors to see where Sergio Perez is. Alex Albon looking to see where Lando Norris is as well. And there's Charles Leclerc down the inside of Esteban Ocon into turn 1. The Ferrari pushes the Renault wide, but Ocon is having none of that. Gets out his oversized elbows and reclaims that place. They're now going wheel to wheel towards turn 4. That's Kvyat and that's Leclerc and Gasly, I should say, almost swapping places into turn 4. Hamilton leads them down the hill from Verstappen, from Perez. Then comes Albon, Norris, and Ocon still ahead of Leclerc.
Maybe he's just got it in a horrible zone with the weight of the car, the tyre pressures.
Oh, this is going to be good. Carlos Sainz down the inside of Charles Leclerc. How about that at high speed into turn 1? The McLaren is past the Ferrari. Sainz moves up into 7th place.
And there's a little marker for next year when they're teammates.
It's so close in terms of points in the championship, and it's giving us some great entertainment as down the inside goes Pierre Gasly on Charles Leclerc, and that Ferrari might start to be struggling on its tyres somewhat. It does tend to overwork its tyres a little bit, and maybe they're getting a bit hot here in the desert. Daniel Kvyat, Martin, has got a penalty.
Yeah, the stewards have decided it was his fault, all his fault.
Here comes Carlos Sainz on Esteban Ocon down the main straight. Ocon moves to the inside to try and cover it. Carlos Sainz just says, I'll break a bit later, I think. Go around the outside, pinch the inside line for turn 2. I'm going to get past you. Ocon tried to make it hard, and Carlos Sainz was having none of it. No team orders here. Ricciardo's going to go for it, though. Ocon moves to the inside once again to try and defend. Defends quite nicely. He got very punchy earlier in the race against Charles Leclerc, did Esteban Ocon. That was brilliant to see. Now, though, he's under pressure once again. DRS assisted. Daniel Ricciardo's coming at him into turn 4 and manages to move past his teammate. Oh, is that smoke? Is that Sergio Perez? Perez never finished on the podium in consecutive races. And what a time for Alex Albon to inherit 3rd place in a race for his 2nd podium in Formula 1. What does this, though, mean for the Constructors' Championship? And Sergio Perez,
Switch it off.
Switch it off, and someone get a fire extinguisher near that car. It's been a very long race. Lewis Hamilton has come through to win the Bahrain Grand Prix once more. And Red Bull, with 2nd and 3rd, get both drivers on the podium. Verstappen and Albon for the first time, Red Bull with 2 cars on the podium since Japan 2017. In a race where, well, we had early drama, we had late drama, despite Lewis Hamilton saying that it was a difficult race. From the outside, for him, it looked like no drama. Hamilton wins the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Passo subito col secondo. Anche qua c'è stato un attimo di... Qua invece abbiamo un altro protagonista della Mercedes. Come vedete non c'è Hamilton, ma c'è Russell, perché Hamilton in questo Gran Premio è stato positivo al Covid. Adesso c'è, tranquilli, ancora vivo. Hamilton non può abbandonare così il suo stato di campione del mondo, avendo superato anche Schumacher, quindi...
It's lights out and away we go. Does get away well, as does Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. It's lights out and away we go. Russell does get away well, as does Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas has got his teammate right alongside him already. Sergio Perez is trying to challenge as George Russell goes into the first turn, and George Russell takes the lead of the Sakir Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas is 2nd and gets all out of shape coming out of turn 2. That's going to give Perez and Verstappen all the impetus they need. As it's 3 cars going well to well, there's a spin right at the back. Could be Kimi Räikkönen in the Alfa Romeo. Look up there as Perez is caught. Cars at 4, and we've already got high drama here on the opening lap, and it's Max Verstappen who was the 3rd of those cars. He is out of the race on the first lap.
George Russell taking the lead, and 2 really fancied runners this evening in the barriers together there. Well, that's really...
There's 3 cars.
Di Leclerc, no?
Sting out of an element of this race.
Sembra di vedere, aspetta.
George Russell taking the lead, and 2 really fancied runners this evening in the barriers together there. Well, that's really taken the sting out of an element of this race, hasn't it?
And Sergio Perez all the way.
Really fancied runners this evening in the barriers together there. Well, that's really taken the sting out of an element of this race, hasn't it?
And Sergio Perez all the way down in 18th place. Leclerc caught Perez. We saw the Racing Point getting all out of shape.
So Max seems under control and then gets on the skittles and he's straight in the barrier. Wow. Perez then makes a pit stop.
Lap 7 of this Sakir Grand Prix, and it's Russell then leading the way from Bottas, from Sainz, and Sainz looks to have got a very nice safety car restart, and he's putting Bottas under all sorts of pressure going into turn 1. It's side by side, McLaren and Mercedes. Inside line goes to Sainz, and Carlos Sainz takes second place, but has to go off the track in doing so. That allows Valtteri Bottas to reclaim that second place. George Russell already flying out in front. Ricciardo is currently 4th from Fiat, and then comes Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon, Sebastian Vettel and Lando Norris. What a duel that was, Sainz and Bottas. Alex Albon is right on the back now of Lando Norris, and he might be sizing up a move to go round the outside and then pinch the inside line at turn 5. Norris tries to cover it off. Alex Albon, that is what he can do in Formula 1. Swoops past Lando Norris, and Sergio Perez then gets Norris as well, using all his years of experience to pick up the scraps after Norris had been overtaken by the Red Bull.
That puts Perez into the World Championship points already.
Oh, here comes Sergio Perez again. He got past Lando Norris on the last lap. Fancies Alex Albon on this particular lap. You wouldn't think there's much space there, but Perez manages to squeeze a Formula 1 car through it. Well done, Alex Albon, for leaving just enough room, making it difficult, but Perez is past. There is Nicholas Latifi by the side of the track, so that's the exit of turn 8. Here we go, virtual safety car.
Yeah, there it is.
Virtual safety cars ended. Carlos Sainz has come in for a pit stop. And I tell you who it has helped Sergio Perez make places up as well. He's on the hard tyre. He's going to the end on those hard tyres. He's going to try and get past his teammate if he can. Lock up there by Lance Stroll. And that will certainly help Sergio Perez get past. And the Racing Point swap places. Sergio Perez goes up into 4th place. Here comes Sergio Perez on Esteban Ocon. He overtook his teammates on the last lap. He's got DRS to help him breeze past Esteban Ocon here. Sergio Perez, for the second week in a row here in Bahrain, is running in the podium places. There's a front wing lost by Jack Aitken.
We're going to need a safety car then to clear that away, I think.
Oh, Jack, don't get out there. Safety car's been deployed.
Yeah, they have to. I can't see a gap. I can't see a gap in the way the cars are distributed around the track.
And
they're stacked up.
They're double stacking at Mercedes. The front right tyre was slow for George Russell. And for Valtteri Bottas, even more confusion for a crew that are normally very, very adept.
With the left front. They're not happy with his left front.
Well, they double stacked. They've reacted really, really quickly, Mercedes, and this is costing Bottas. Oh, his brakes are on fire now as well. They had the wrong compound of tyre on, and that's why they couldn't send him out again. But now those brakes are overheating. He has lost track position to Sergio Perez. He's gone from 2nd to 5th while all that was happening.
Okay, George, we're going to need to box. We have a mixed tyre set on the car.
Basically, what's happened is they've got some of Bottas's tyres on, or indeed all of Bottas's tyres on.
As now we go racing once more. Sergio Perez leads the Sakir Grand Prix from Esteban Ocon. They're having a terrific race tonight. Lance Stroll's in 3rd. Valtteri Bottas down the inside. George Russell right behind him. Alex Albon's making a move. You can see the sparks flying, and Alex Albon almost goes into the back of Pierre Gasly, but manages to avoid him and take 9th place as well. And Valtteri Bottas goes a little bit wider through turn 4. Russell's now going to have a go at him on this twisty section of the track, the middle section. He's got the inside line at turn 7, and he goes past his teammate. George Russell overtakes Valtteri Bottas. That was committed. It was brave. It was brilliant. Mercedes power against Mercedes power. He's trying to break the toe, Lance Stroll. George Russell's made up his mind to go down the inside, late on the brakes, into turn 1. Enough room for Russell to squeeze past and back up into the top 3 once again. Look how George Russell has closed up that gap to Esteban Ocon. All the while, Sergio Perez having it his own way out in front. He's got the inside line. George Russell into turn 4. That was an easier move on Esteban Ocon. Now can Perez hold on? Valtteri Bottas is under pressure from Carlos Sainz. Those tyres that are a little bit too old for Valtteri Bottas' liking have cost him again as Carlos Sainz moves up into 5th place. Sainz, who lost places when he pitted at the end of the virtual safety car and the track went green. Sainz lost places. He's making the place back up again now. And Daniel Ricciardo too, because Ricciardo goes past Bottas into the last corner, up into 6th, and now Alex Albon fancies having a go at Valtteri Bottas, and those tyres are just helping